I'm Aaron Van Cleave, and this right here is the Buzzy Be, which is the deceptively cute name I gave this kind of overkill sort of spaceship. And it doesn't look like it has a lot of weapons right now, but I built in a ton of different functions, about 3 of them, so ton is an overstatement. The main one is operated through this base right here, and the base has a couple of levers and whatnot that interface with the ship itself, and the ship, it has levers as well. So what happens first is, oh yeah, and that's never working, but there we go.
Got a couple good bangs and it should.
Yeah, these giant saws pop out.
Not helping at all.
Yeah, giant saws pop out, and they're usually meant to rotate pretty fast, but sometimes they don't, and if you bang that usually works too. There we go, saws are working. That's why it's, the most reliable ship in the fleet, right? Yeah.
Never breaks down.
Yeah, it's definitely not a junker in any way. But there are actually a lot of interesting techniques I used in this, and probably the most striking is maybe the wings. These are old insectoids' wing pieces, and that's really the best way to describe them. But you might notice the printing on them has been completely removed, and I used an eraser to do that because it was kind of annoying, just personally kind of annoyed me. And it wouldn't have matched the ship at all, but I was like, it still is really insectoid, so I ended up making an insectoid ship, sort of, with a really industrial vibe. The color scheme all kind of emulates that. Beyond that, there's also, let me see, I don't want to hit anyone. I'll do it this way. There's a couple of hidden functions over here, and bam. It's kind of hard to see, but they're hidden missiles. There's a missile bay over here. I wanted to make it really like a set, like kid-friendly kind of stuff, because I usually do really aesthetic work, and even though I wanted to, make it look good in general, having just something that's more functional and sturdy was really helpful. At the same time, though, there's still a lot of delicate connections. Like, for example, this one right here, I don't have a lot of the bricks that are normally used to interface with these insectoids' wings, but I was able to use a bunch of rubber bands, and you can convert these old connectors into ball joints with the rubber bands friction. And that's probably my most favorite connection in there. There's a couple others, but they're not really that notable. Mostly it's just rubber bands. This ship was a lesson, and that lesson is rubber bands solve everything. Right?
There's nothing you can't solve with rubber bands.
Yeah, the saws, the thing driving them, it's rubber bands. Rubber bands make them pop out, and rubber bands, there weren't any wheels that are small enough to fit inside the constricted space in there. And so I just round some rubber bands around a little, like a lever bushing, and put them on an axle, and that's a really tiny tire, and that runs the saws with minimal friction. And that's why it's kind of hard to run them, but at the same time, it works, and it kind of works. I have to bang it a little bit.
You can make it work. So then I see you've got this paper with is that some kind of early sketching, early artwork there?
Yes, and that was just the concept I went into in order to make this, because like I said, I started with these wing pieces, and I was like, man, I want to make something with these, and I went through a bunch of concepts. A lot of them were like fish or like maybe dragonflies, but eventually I ended up making this yellow module right here, and I was like, man, that's pretty industrial. I got to do something like that. And so I was like, man, I got to have something better to go on. And I drew this picture with a highlighter, no less, because I'm a high school student, and that's like all I have on hand, highlighter. And that's pretty much what it ended up being over here. That's what the final product is, and man, I finally got that to stick. Yep, it's a kind of industrial, really terribly deadly killer machine that doesn't always work.
There you go. I like it. And you've even got this nice front part there with the attached, some more of those blades in the front.
Yes, yeah. Those are the ones that took the most time to get the print off of, but they were really rewarding to see. Just they're so clean and blue.
What is the connection like there? It looks like an interesting...
Well, like I said, I don't have a lot of the parts that connect these standardly, but I had like 2 or 3 of them, and I was like, yeah, I can use those at least. So those ones are actually connected in standard, way, and so those are put on really well. But if you were looking for more unusual connections, I think the other really notable one right here is headphones right here for greebling. And it almost gives kind of like a bee stripe pattern. I was like, man, yeah, that looks good. That was like a last-minute addition, but it really stuck well. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. That's all I had to say about that. But
there you go. Well, thank you. I think it turned out great. Maybe fix a couple of the quirks there with the future editions, and it should be even better. So thanks for talking with us about it. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much.